As human beings, we spend most of our time at home in our kitchen, especially now that everyone is advised to stay at home. Cooking seems like the best hobby to have. Welcome to Jensen's DIY, and here are 27 things you can do to keep your kitchen organized. 1. You've probably been doing this incorrectly for years, and this may seem like a bit of a no-brainer, but there really is an art in how to properly store your groceries. By learning how to store your groceries, you are avoiding clutter, food spoiling, and making more room for other items. Knowing how to store your groceries is the first essential key to an organized kitchen. Check out the complete list on Tasty. 2. Don't throw out your 6-pack containers after you're done drinking the last beer. There's a definite need for those containers, and it's handier than you think. By putting them in the doors of your fridge, you can not only store your beer, but other bottles. You won't have to worry about your soy sauce, chili peppers, and more knocking around when you use this method. 3. It's easier to stay organized when you know where everything is in your home. When you need to search for food items, you could make a mess trying to find one thing. By placing everything in clear jars, you will be able to see clearly what is in what, and that way you aren't struggling to find any ingredient you may need. 4. This may seem a bit obvious, but it's probably not something you are actively doing in your kitchen. You need to label everything, since this will keep everything more organized and give you peace of mind. There's no need to shift through everything in your kitchen when you simply have labels to tell you what everything is. 5. It's not a good idea to have cutlery knocking around in your drawers, since this keeps everything disorganized, as well as damages the knives you have. When they are damaged, they will not work properly when you use them to cut ingredients. Avoid this by putting them in the knife blocks, so the knives are not damaged and stay in one place. 6. When you are in the middle of cooking and trying to pack certain good items away, it may get irritating trying to find plastic baggies. You may either have a box of them tossed somewhere, or your hands are too dirty to grab one out. That is why pinning the box to the wall with the lid open allows for an easier grab when you are looking to food prep for the week. 7. Plastic bags can be useful for a variety of things. Whether it's storing other bags, throwing out the garbage, or picking up a dog's mess. You could also use plastic bags in the house. The trouble is, they can get quite messy. In order to keep everything organized, use an empty tissue box container and stuff the plastic bags in them to keep for an easy dispensary. 8. Lids to containers can be quite a nuisance when you are trying to organize them. Most of the time, you end up throwing them in a cabinet, almost never to be found again. When you place them all in a dishwashing rack and place that in your cabinet, you have them all stacked and organized to pull whichever one out you need. 9. While you may have a wide assortment of ingredients and spices everywhere, there is always going to be a go-to ingredient. When you are storing your ingredients by what you use the most, you are taking away the hassle of trying to find said ingredient every time you decide to cook for the family. 10. Rather than your measuring cups and spoons clanking around in your utensil drawer, take them out of any drawer or cabinet by hanging them up on the wall. By taking them out, you are making your drawers neater, while also having some essential cooking and baking items within reach when you need them. That way, next time you decide to make an apple pie, you can easily pluck a measuring spoon right off the wall. 11. When you are looking to declutter your kitchen, the best thing is to take whatever is unnecessary in your fridge and cabinets out. Anything that you can hang on the wall, you should. This means that you probably want to invest in storage bins. By placing them on the wall, you can store whatever you want in them. Either install them on the wall or get smaller ones for the inside of your cabinets. Don't throw items around when you can place them in wire storage bins. 12. Most measuring spoons have various sizes on one chain. That is all well and good, but they can end up becoming tangled and thrown around. By separating your measuring spoons and then storing them by size, you're actually organizing them for a neater look in your kitchen. You will be able to grab whichever measuring spoon you need for the recipe that you are cooking up that night for your family. 13. Spices can be very cumbersome in cabinets. By labeling them as well, you can easily make out what spice is which. Get spice containers that match so that you can stack them, which means that you are making your spices neater instead of spreading out in your cabinets. You don't think to worry about not being able to find a certain spice simply because they are all in matching containers. 14. This is a very popular organizational idea. As mentioned before, spices can take up a lot of room in your cabinets. If you transfer your spices into magnetic jars, you can take them out of your cabinets and place them on the fridge. This creates more room in your cabinets for other items and creates a better display for your spices. A display that guests will be impressed with. 15. Don't you hate it when you have to retrieve something from under your sink and you have to bend down and dig through everything? This is a hassle. Avoid the pain by installing a pull-out drawer at the bottom underneath your sink. You will be able to easily pull it out and find what you need. 16. We are creating space here. These tips can be great for small kitchens and large ones. By hanging your utensils, you are creating more space in drawers for other items. This is especially good if you don't have a lot of utensils. You can simply grab one and not cause any clutter in your drawers. 17. If you are going to put your spices in a cabinet, use a Lazy Susan. These nifty devices aren't just for sharing food with a large group of people. By installing a Lazy Susan in your cabinets, you are making it easier to find the spice you are looking for. All it needs is a quick spin, and you have made your life a whole lot easier. 18. This is the same concept as before. You may have not thought that a Lazy Susan had any place in the fridge, but it does. It can be the perfect organizing tool for what you need. Place your fruit, vegetables, and whatever else you need, such as condiments, on a Lazy Susan. It will make everything more organized while making it easy to find something. 19. Sometimes your fridge starts out nice and neat. Then, everything goes to hell. How do you avoid having everything thrown in all over the place in your fridge to the point of not making sense of it? You have to create organization so that food doesn't get lost in your fridge. By using labeling bins, you are easily able to store fruits, vegetables, meat, and eggs in their pre-designated areas, so you always know where something is when searching for it. 20. As we have mentioned several times in this article, it's better to get what you can out of the drawers and cabinets. Do you need your storage space, but it's taken up by all of the pots and pans that you have? A neat idea is putting up a pegboard and hanging your pots and pans from it. Get them out of the way and easy to reach. This also creates a nice look in the kitchen for guests to see. 21. This idea plays off the previous one. Just as you should label your bins, you could also use baskets to store your food in your fridge. The entire idea is to organize better. If you are placing different food items all throughout your fridge, you may not know where something is. By putting what you need in a basket, you have a more central place for certain items to be placed in. 22. When you are trying to keep everything organized in your kitchen, it's okay to be creative. This means using a magazine rack on the wall. Not to store magazines, but to store your boxes of Ziploc bags. Sometimes these boxes, along with parchment paper and aluminum foil, can take up valuable room in your cabinets. They also have a tendency to get in the way. Avoid the clutter and the stress when you use this nifty hack. 23. Pots and pans can be annoying to store, and taking them out for a meal is even more of a nuisance. It comes to a point where you may not even feel like making certain dishes due to where a certain pan is located. Avoid this headache and hassle when you have a wire rack to properly store everything. 24. Staying within the pots and pans territory, it's a good idea to find multiple ideas to help you organize these kitchen tools better. One nifty way to add more storage is a riser. Placed in any cabinet, you are given another surface to place your pots and pans on. This will avoid clutter and make everything in your kitchen easier to grab. 25. Has it ever happened to you when you make a meal, put the leftovers in the fridge, and after a few days, you completely forgot how old it is? By labeling your food with the date you made it, you know how long you have had until something needs to be thrown out, and you also know when something is still fresh. This not only organizes your fridge better, but also saves you money in the long run. 26. An over-the-door shoe organizer isn't just for, well, shoes. This clear storage unit is the perfect place to store all of your most used spices. You can display each one neatly so that it is out in the open and easy to reach. On top of this, using a shoe organizer will free up space in your cabinets so you can put more items in. 27. With a little stick-on tool, you can attach clothespins on the wall. You can then use them to hang dishwashing rags and other items in your kitchen. This is a creative way to hang towels, whereas they would normally be tossed around the kitchen messily. And that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this episode? Please share your thoughts about this video in the comments section. For more decorating and organizing ideas, stay tuned to our channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.